I'm Dr. Jordin Wiggins, and this is the Pleasure Principles podcast. Join me on this journey where sex, science, and sensuality meet. Let's change the conversation around sex and pleasure together.
There is an actual cost to lacking intimacy, connection, great sex. We love to go about our days superwomaning it, prioritizing other things, achieving, getting our validation from work, the online shopping, the renos, the planning our next getaway, until eventually we get to the point that we can't outrun it anymore. We can't deny it, keep our head in the sand. We get to the point that we think, wow, I have so much to feel grateful for, and I have very little pleasure to show for it. There is a cost to lacking pleasure. There is a cost, and I see it every day. I see it mainly, and this is with high achieving women, I see it mainly with health, a cost to our health, a cost to our wealth, our productivity, our abundance, and a cost to love, the connection, the fulfillment, the great sex. Just want to give you some stats, and if you've listened for a while, followed for a while, you've heard them before, but like our heads are literally so far up our asses on this, it bears repeating. And I find myself falling into the same pattern. So if I need to hear it, you definitely need to hear it. The cost of feeling alone. So unsupported, like you're the one that has to do it all. Like if you don't do it, it won't get done. The cost of that on your body is the equivalent of smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Women, 1 in 4 women are on an antidepressant. I believe it's higher now since the pandemic. Women are 2 times as likely to be prescribed an antidepressant than a man. We can unpack that. But my point is that this not being happy, lacking joy, and feeling like we can't cope, 1 in 2 women will have sexual dysfunction in their lifetime. Like these are big numbers. This is massive. Like how we don't have national holidays for this. Like if 1 in 2 men had sexual dysfunction, it would be a full court press until I feel like the world would almost stop until an answer was found. But we tolerate, we endure, we bury it down so deep, and we just keep going. But it affects our health. We get into what I call the superwoman cycle, where we're going to have crashes, like mental health crashes. We were going to have rashes, mystery rashes. We're going to have mystery vomiting, but we're still going to, and this has happened to me. I was just chatting with one of my clients recently with the puking, who was still showing up for her celebrity clients, still working, still earning, still providing. I had a meeting with my accountants last week. My gross profit had increased astronomically in spite of having my mystery vomiting illness and not being able to work. We get inflamed and resentful, don't have the energy, but we push through because if we don't do it, who will? Who's going to pick up the slack? We get in this fog, and I'm going to talk about that next episode, but most of you exist there. And our wealth, like we've gotten to where we've gotten to out of sheer willpower and hypervigilance and overfunction and people pleasing. And we know that it's not sustainable. We know that something has to give, and it's going to be our health. It's going to be our love. But we know that what got us here is not what's going to get us to the next level in our careers, because we know that what we have been doing is not sustainable. So we know that there is a cost to not having intimacy, connection, fulfillment. And I know that you have tried all of the things probably done therapy, worked with coaches, you've read the books, listened to the podcast, because that is who you are. You're a doer, you're an overfunctioner, you're a high achiever. You're missing something. Because if you had the answer, you would have found it already and you would have taken the action required, which is why I love working with the population of women that I work with, because once they see, once we've rebalanced the energies, once they have their new way of being, they will take the action. That is never, ever the problem. The problem is not being able, like, to fully see the problem for what it is, or blaming the wrong things. Because I have full faith in you, Superwomen, that if you could truly see what I saw and we were looking at it through the lens of Chinese medicine diagnostics, because as a naturopathic doctor, functional medicine doctor for the last 10 years, helping over 2,000 women, I started to see a pattern of high achieving women who had so much. They had the house, they had the car, the career, and very little pleasure and joy to show for it. In fact, they were exhausted, they were resentful, they were disconnected, they were unappreciated for all that they do, or they felt that way. They were gaining weight, their hair was falling out. So these beliefs, these energy leaks, these things that are draining our tanks start to affect their health. Like I mentioned, doctors can't explain it. Like, they're getting testing, they're working with really good practitioners, but they're in this superwoman cycle. We're blaming hormones, perimenopause, inflammation, but it's like, but why? Why is it happening? And for a lot of those things, working with women in my medical practice, we could find the cause and get, like, through functional medicine testing, we would get improvement. They would start to feel better overall, sleep through the night, weight was coming off, hair was coming in thicker, skin was clearer, hormone, mood issues, things were resolving. But there was still those unexplainable superwoman illnesses. They were not happy. There was still something missing. They were anhedonic. So this is the medical term for inability to experience pleasure or joy. The things that used to make you happy don't make you happy anymore. You're just like blah. And the most common thing that I would hear is, I just don't feel like myself. Why is that? What was the problem? And it started to frustrate me because, the perfectionist high achiever that I am, I knew I was missing something. And I want to start sharing with you those things that I was missing, the fact patterns that I was seeing after treating woman after woman, getting them like the best testing available, taking CE credits to figure out, like, what am I doing? What am I missing? Well, interestingly enough, I was looking for the answers in the wrong places. It's why I started the Pleasure Collective, why I'm doing the coaching that I am doing. And I want to start sharing these things with you now. So, the hidden energy leak number one, we're going to talk about more of these, but the energy leak today that I'm talking about is truth. I teach an entire month on truth in the Feminine Mentorship, my intimacy mastermind for high achieving women. But I want to give you the high level here so you can start to focus your energies and efforts where you are actually going to move the needle and go with me. I know this seems trivial, but it is hidden. This is a sneaky thing draining our pleasure tank. And something that I noticed, like, 2 degrees being trained in health, when we start dealing with sex and intimacy, there is no other area in life that is riddled with as much shame and insecurities. So think about it, like, is he liking it? Do I look fat or old? Are we having enough sex? Is he getting it elsewhere? How can I share this truth? Is it the right time? Maybe I should tell him tomorrow. He's had a long day. There's no other place that we are protecting ourselves, our hearts, our partners, our egos, where our deepest fears are being exposed and triggered than in sex and intimacy. So, this is why truth and truth telling is a massive hidden energy leak. And there is a cost to lacking pleasure, a cost to denying our truth, a cost like to denying our truth to ourselves, which is a big area, and a cost of not speaking our truth that leads to disconnection in relationship and leads to us having these unexplained illnesses, having us be anhedonic and wondering, why am I not happy? Telling the truth is harder in intimate relationship and sex. And the way we do one thing is the way we do everything. So it is such a great place to heal and change our entire way of being when we start examining this. So we are taught to have surface desires and surface intimate relationships. You know, we look at, I need to get the degree, the house, the cars. I need to check these boxes, have the kids, do these things in life, or not have the kids. um, the lips, the lingerie, the Botox, the boob job, like these are surface, these are physical attributes, and we're taught like, oh, if we have these things it will bring us happiness if I get to a certain weight. But there's deeper desires, deeper truths underneath this. So getting the boobs or having the house, there's something deeper underneath it. So we talked about on our last group call the desire to feel worshiped, to feel cared for, to feel safe, to feel secure. So is it really the big house that you desire? Because if it was, you'd probably be super fucking happy right now. But it's what it represents. We require a new way of being, a deeper, more intimate way of relating, because it's almost at odds with what we've been taught, what we believe about ourselves to be true. Like, oh, I can do it all. I don't need any help. I'm the superwoman. I've got my cape on. I'm putting out fires. I'm good in crisis. But where does that actually get us? So I want to talk about 3 ways withholding truth erodes connection in relationship. The first is respect. Feeling like you have to protect somebody from the truth. We do this for our children. This is emotional caretaking. But when we're doing it for adults, it's overfunctioning. The more you feel that someone cannot handle your truth, the less you respect them. I have been in a relationship with a man that I didn't respect. I was the primary breadwinner, the emotional caretaker, the leader. I called the shots, which equaled to resentment and a lack of respect. The energy balance is off. I had the higher drive in that relationship, but I was craving connection through sex that I was not getting emotionally. And a lot of women in that position have the lower drive. They're like exhausted, they feel resentful, and sex is the last thing on their to do list, or they're doing it to check the box, not because they actually enjoy it. And let me also say, it is not to say that these, like being the primary breadwinner or kind of like the alpha in certain aspects of your relationship, can't work. It's just that we have to work at restoring that energy balance and the respect, which is what I do in my 3-month private coaching program designed to help exhausted, burnt out, resentful superwomen. And it is perfect for you if you keep telling yourself things like, oh, well, if I just had time off or a vacation, or oh, once my husband gets this promotion, then I will be able to do less. Then I will be able to slow down and fix these parts of myself. But that time never comes. Your health stuff is probably worsening. So is your resentment and your exhaustion. And you have a lot on the line to lose. Your health isn't getting any better. In fact, it's getting worse. Your relationship is going to get worse. The respect continues to erode. And it will get to a point where something's got to give, or you can't keep up with your responsibilities. You have the belief that If I don't do it, nothing is going to get done. Something needs to change because you don't have much gas left in the tank. You know you're at a critical point. You can't keep going like this. You have delayed doing this type of work, always telling yourself that, oh, the time will come. You deprioritize it, but you know that you don't have another 3 months in you to continue. Something has to give. This is by application only. Make sure, obviously, that this is a fit for both of us. I don't always take on private clients, but there is an epidemic of women that are struggling. And if my work speaks to you, I have opened up 4 spots. This is the most exclusive, highest level way to work with me. We are looking to fast track your healing. This is totally customized to you. The focus is on you. You are ready to make the investment and do the work on yourself because you are sick of feeling exhausted, resentful, overwhelmed. You crave to be present. You crave more ease and flow. You know that there's a different way of doing things, but for the life of you, you can't figure it out. This is for you. So head to the show notes, fill out the application, and let's connect. And before I get into the other 2 ways that withholding your truth is eroding connection in relationship, I want to tell you about the other way to work with me right now. And that is Revive, a 5-week private coaching program tailored for high achieving women who want to heal their relationship dynamic. You've tried everything and nothing is getting through to your husband. You are overfunctioning for an underfunctioning partner. You are constantly picking up the balls that other people drop, and you want your needs met without constantly having to remind, ask, nag, yell, cry. We've tried it all, and I have been there. Everything feels like it's dependent on you, and it is just too much. You cannot live like it anymore. This is my unique approach to communication and relationship satisfaction that is specifically designed for a woman wired like you and I. This is not a one size fits all approach because every situation is unique. You've tried all the things, the books, the podcasts, the therapists, and this is more than a way of communicating. It's a way of operating, an energetic way of being that is so much deeper than surface communication. So much is focused on communicating in relationship, but that will not work in a relationship dynamic with a superwoman. We need to go multiple layers deeper, a way of operating, and like I said, an energetic way of being. The verbal communication, that's the basics, but it doesn't work for superwomen who is wired like us. If it did, you would have fixed this already. In fact, a lot of the things that are out there, you've tried and it doesn't work. So it almost feels worse for trying, like couples therapy. You are a dynamic individual and the basics are not going to work. They're not going to heal this thing. It is too surface for you. Both programs, working with me privately and Revive, are by application only. So we can make absolutely sure what is the best fit for you. Head to the link in the show notes. And if you need something to help change the dynamic in your relationship quickly and you want to work privately with me for 5 weeks, apply for Revive, only taking 5 women. The second way withholding truth is eroding connection in our relationship is disconnection. So the more you try and protect your partner's feelings and ego, the more we are in the caretaking role. Withholding our truth is mutually exclusive for intimacy and fucking. If you lose, you lose the respect, you lose the connection. And for super women who are high achieving, people pleasing, overgivers, we are often withholding truth from ourselves. So, like I talked about, We did all the things exactly as we should. We got the praise, we got the accolades, and we're still not happy. And there's almost some shame in it. And the fact that we aren't really clear on what our truth is a big part of the problem. So when we are scared to hurt others by sharing our truth, which is so common with us intimately, it literally fractures the connection in relationship. And superwomen will lose respect for their partners. And also our superwomen traits of I will do it all myself erode intimacy, the erotic energy, the eros, and the energy balance is disrupted because we're literally emasculating our men and taking away their ability to protect and provide. So let me give you an example. Like I mentioned, we're taught to connect on the surface level, to want the degree, the job, the house, the family, the car. But we get those and it's hollow. Something is missing. We're still not happy. What was wrong here is we were focused on the wrong thing, the surface. And when we look around and think, oh, I should be grateful, like, look at all I have, and we're not, it starts to feel even worse. We start to question what is wrong with us, and we go further into disconnection. The third way that withholding truth erodes relationship dynamics is because the energy balance is off. So when you don't share truth, or when you share part of your truth, which is classic superwomen, our men get pushed into the feminine. They do things for themselves, they go golfing, they game, they disconnect, they stop showing up. So, for example, we want him to plan a trip. We think, oh my goodness, if he would just plan the weekly date night, or if he would plan a trip, take care of everything so I could just show up, that would feel amazing. But we get there, we're not happy with the hotel that he picked, or we're so resentful for all the other things. He starts to think, why did I even bother if she's not happy? And I know you know that we do this. I've done it. So, men, as long as they are not addicts or personality disordered, truly want to help, truly want to protect and provide. I believe this. But when we are asking for crumbs or we are not clear on our whole truth, the energy balance will be off, where we are in the masculine doing and they are in the feminine. This is why we can be resentful at holidays, resentful with the time they spend with the kids, resentful that they are present and we are not because we are overthinking, doing, planning. And this is our work to do. Working on unearthing what is my truth? What do I really desire? Where have I been holding back on sharing my truth because I want to spare his ego? This is literally destroying the connection in your relationship. And a lot of it is our work to do because we can only control our side of the street. And why the solution is custom to each relationship, because some of the women that I work with, like they're both alphas. They both have big careers. They're kind of competing for that space. And others, it's she does all the things. She's the provider, the primary breadwinner. So a one size approach does not fit all. This is why I have the two ways of working with me, my 3-month private coaching and Revive, the 5-week Kickstarter for high achieving women who want to heal their relationship dynamic. So 3 months, if you want to focus on you, if you need the overhaul, if you can't take it anymore, and you're done with the excuses, you're done with it like, oh, after this vacation or when he gets the promotion, if you're done with the excuses because you know that that time never comes and you are ready to do this work, ready to heal, the 3-month private coaching is for you. Regardless, fill out an application. We will get on a call, make sure it's a fit. Space is super limited. So do not wait because when the spots are full, they're full. Apply, get the soonest call time possible for us to connect and we can start healing this. And come back next week so we can talk about more of the hidden energy leaks in your relationship and what is getting in the way of the sex, connection, energy, health that you desire. Have a great week, everybody.
If you like what you heard in this episode, leave me a rating. Your support helps me get discovered by more women like you. Together, we can change the conversation around women's sexual health and pleasure for you, your partners, and generations to come.